Mateo Salado's archaeological complex is located in Cercado de Lima, adjacent to the districts of Pueblo Libre and Breña. It covers an extension of 16.4 hectares, divided into three sectors that are surrounded by modern urbanizations. Originally, it was an administrative ceremonial center built by the Ishma and reoccupied by the Incas. It receives its name from the Frenchman Mateo Salado, who arrived from Europe in the 16th century and lived as an hermit in the archaeological complex. He was accused of being a Lutheran heretic by the Holy Inquisition of Lima, being sentenced to death and executed in the main square of Lima in 1573. Here we see the Plaza de la Bandera, built in the year 1978 thanks to the effort and financial support of the residents of the neighboring urbanization. Also, we see part of the Chinese school 10 de Octubre, built in 1924. This is the western wall of Mateo Salado. It was a protection wall and was associated with an Inca trail. It has been excavated to its foundation, which allows us to appreciate its impressive dimensions. 5.2 meters high, with a width of 1.4 meters at the top and 2.6 meters at the base. It is necessary the eradication of the informal mechanics that occupy this area. The Ministry of Culture began the recovery of Mateo Salado complex in 2007. From that date until 2013, 3 of 5 pyramids were intervened through research, conservation, and restoration, and were open for touristic visits. With this, 35% of the total area of the archaeological complex has been restored and investigated. The investigations have clarified the particularities of the Ichma society in the area of the lower valley of Rimac and its transformation with the Inca presence. Since 2010, a community management program has been carried out, offering admission to artistic, cultural, and educational activities with the support of different promoters and cultural associations of Lima. In March 2014, Mateo Salado opened its doors to the public, serving visitors originally from Wednesday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But now, due to the pandemic and the low amount of in-person visitors still in Lima, in 2023, the schedule has changed. Mateo Salado consists in 5 truncated step pyramids and other minor structures, all of them built in mud. And now we're going to do a virtual visit to this immense archaeological complex, seeing one by one each one of its 5 pyramids. Pyramid A. It is the largest pyramid of the site and would have been its main temple. It measures 150 meters long, 182 meters wide, and reaches 18 meters high. Its main entrance is located in the north facade, which is reached by a ramp of staircases that allowed access to the extensive main square of the site. At the top, there are a series of large patios characterized by having, on 2 of their sides, stairways that access to the top of the pyramid. In this section, we can see the original depth of the floor of the site, we can see where the original level of the archaeological site used to be, which is in parts about 1 meter below the nowadays level of the floor. The walled Inca Trail. It extends from northeast to southwest through the lower western part of Pyramid A. It consists of two walls that run parallel, which measure up to 5.5 meters high. Between them runs a road with a width of 3.5 meters on average. Apparently, this road had minor branches that enter the buildings of Mateo Salado, such as one that branched off to the east in direction of Pyramid B. Pyramid E. It has a quadrangular plan of about 50 meters on each side and reaches 5 meters high. It is the second pyramid outside the walls of Mateo Salado. It is oriented towards the sea. It would have been a small Ichma temple during the late Ichma period, which has later been reused as an Ichma Inca burial site. Remains of 53 burials from this last period has been recovered, of which only 9 have been saved from being looted. In this temple were discovered several burials of Chinese immigrants who work in the nearby haciendas of this zone. These people were not allowed to be buried in Christian Catholic cemeteries, so that's why they were usually buried in archaeological sites. In this temple, you can see evidences of the presence of looters who used to live in this part of the archaeological site. These elements, and also part of the material left during the use period of this place as a public dump, has been left to portray to the visitor the history of this site before being rescued. And also it shows to the upcoming generations what we have done in modern times with our archaeological sites. These modern steps have been put in this site during the process of restoration of Mateo Salado complex to allow visitors to go to the top of Pyramid A. This part of the pyramid was terribly destroyed by looters that were searching for different golden or silver objects from the past. They were trying to obtain wealth from this place, and in the search of these products, they opened a massive hole in one side of the pyramid. This stair takes us to the top of the temple, from where we can see Lima in a sunny day. We can see the ocean and we can see the nearby mountains, which probably were worshipped by the indigenous people of this part of the country. There are also evidences of yellow pigment intact in this part of the site, which show that that was the original color of the temple. In the distance, we are observing Pyramid D. It is located extra walls, and it has a size of 92 meters long by 80 meters wide and 7 meters high. This archaeological site is outside the archaeological section, but it still is protected by Mateo Salado project. Most of this archaeological site is surrounded by modern architecture by apartment buildings and people that we might catalog in a middle class group, but also we have people that are considered poor, living not just next to the site, also within the archaeological site. This place was a public dump until the 1980s, and that is why it is necessary to remove from within the archaeological site the presence of squatters, because the place has been already largely damaged. There are still families inside the archaeological place Mateo Salado living as squatters, as we can see in this part of the video. And the archaeologists of the project are not having problems, of course, with them, because they don't want to create some tensions between them and the visitors, especially the tourists. But this is something already being discussed in courts. So we really hope that something will be done as soon as possible about this situation. There are also archaeological sites which are not yet investigated, like for example Pyramid C, which is the one we are seeing in this moment. And now we're going to the next pyramid. Pyramid B. It is the second largest in the archaeological complex, and hypothetically, it could have been its main palace. It is another big pyramid of mud. It has the size of 138 meters long by 146 meters wide, and an elevation of 12 meters in Sector A, which is the highest part of the pyramid. This place has a zone that is characterized by a sort of like throne that was used by the leader of this community. There are still pyramids that are not yet investigated, like Pyramid C and Pyramid D. For example, Pyramid C has a quadrangular layout of 90 meters per side and reaches 9 meters high. It has not yet been excavated, so it cannot be determined its use back in pre-Hispanic times. Like Pyramid A, this pyramid has a series of large chambers that raise in steps from north to south. In this way, the building is oriented towards the hills on the north side of Lima, as is also the case with most sectors of Pyramid B. Another case of an archaeological site not yet properly excavated is Pyramid D, which measures 92 meters long by 80 meters wide, and it has 7 meters high. This site is a temple located extra walls. Unlike the intramural pyramids, this one faces the hills of the north of Lima. Pyramids B and Pyramid E face the sea. This site is open from Thursday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The admission fee is only 10 soles per person, which is less than $3 per visitor. And they have special prices for children in a school age. The site has tour guides and also has a permanent team of archaeologists working in this site. They will be very happy to see you visiting in person. So please pass the voice about this fantastic archaeological site that dates back to pre-Hispanic ancient times and is awaiting for you with open arms to visit it.